call to order the August 12th meeting of the 2025 meeting of the North Andover Planning Board. Jean, could you take roll, please?
Sure. Kate Kelly? Here. Sean Kevelin?
Here.
John Simons?
Here.
Eitan Goldberg?
I'm here.
Peter Boyden?
Aye. Bond release, 1160 Great Pond Road, Brooks School, request for release of two $10,000 and two $4,000 performance bonds associated with relocation of the south entrance, removal and reconstruction of buildings, access ways and landscape areas, removal of two existing boathouses, which were replaced with a single boathouse, removal and replacement of existing housing and improvements at 1116 Great Pond Road, and removal of a portion of impervious driveway area at 1116 Great Pond Road.
So the request pertains to two permitted projects that were permitted separately, one known as relocation of the south entrance and one known as replacement of the boathouse and additional faculty housing. Each required site plan review special permit and a watershed special permit. So the site plan review, each were $10,000, the watershed was $4,000 each. All the work is complete, the site is stabilized, the engineer certification letters and as-built plans are included in your packet. Amy Maxner and I walked the property with the project engineer last week, and everything's come in great. It looks really good.
Questions, comments? Get a motion to approve the bond release of all remaining bond funds and interest.
So moved.
Second. Seconded by Peter. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, good work. 1701 Osgood Street, Extra Space Properties. Request for release of a $10,000 performance bond associated with the February 28, 2023 site plan review and corridor development special permits allowed for the construction of a new 47,244 square foot, three-story self-storage warehouse facility, the use of an existing 50,094 square foot, three-story self-storage warehouse facility previously approved in 2000, along with associated parking, landscaping, utilities, lighting, and stormwater management design.
All right, so this was permitted to add a second storage facility behind the existing one. It kind of sits back up on a hill. Unless you know it's there, you really don't even see it from Osgood Street. You have to go out of your way to try to see it. It's fully constructed. Again, I visited the site last week. All the lawn area has grown in. It's fully stabilized. And again, the engineer certification and the as-built plan are included in your packet.
Good. Questions, comments? A motion to approve the bond release for 1701 Osgood Street.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. New public hearing, 364 Johnson Street, Gregory and Melissa Butkus. Application for a watershed special permit under Article 4, Part 5, and Article 10, Section 195, 10.7 of the zoning bylaw to authorize construction of a proposed 326 square foot addition. The addition includes a basement, first and second story, for a total of 1,128 square feet. The existing rear deck is to be expanded to connect with the addition. The project is located within the non-discharge zone of the Watershed Protection District. Property is located in the R3 zoning district.
All right, so the stormwater management, they actually applied 2 weeks ahead of the filing date, and so we've had an extended period of time, and the stormwater management for the proposed improvements has been fully reviewed by Horsley Witten. All the concerns have been addressed. The improvements include a 160-gallon mini dry well and a subsurface system for infiltration on the east side of the existing building. The existing footprint of the house is 890 square feet. The proposed footprint is 1,266, or an increase of 376 square feet to the footprint of impervious surface. And the parcel size is just over 25,000 square feet. The plan has been reviewed by DPW, Water and Sewer, NAPD, and Conservation Department, and no concerns were communicated. And because the stormwater review was completed ahead of the meeting, I did prepare a draft decision for your consideration if you choose to. We did receive one abutter comment today that I have shared with the applicant team, and I emailed it out to the board today. The applicants have submitted a couple of pictures if you'd like context for that when we get to it.
Yes, I think that's the main, one of the things we'd like to definitely hear about. Okay, so why don't we have the applicant come up, or someone from there, whoever wants to present.
I'm starting with this plan sheet, but quickly going to go to the other one that gets blown up quite a bit, but just to describe. So the site is the corner of Johnson Street and Abbott Street. Ridgewood Cemetery sits adjacent to this, behind the site. The wetland is delineated across the street at Johnson Street here, so a parcel across the street. This dashed line is the 100-foot no disturbance zone, and this dashed line is the 325 known discharge zone. And so the project's within the non-discharge, and essentially as close to that line, furthest away from the non-disturbance as possible.
Okay.
So then the next page kind of blows that up quite a bit, and it's easier to see the detail.
All right, can everyone introduce themselves, please?
How's it going? I'm Greg Bucas.
Hi, I'm Melissa Bucas.
And I'm John McDonald, the engineer and land surveyor who prepared the plans.
Okay. So, Mr. Mayor, why don't we hear from you about what's being proposed and specifically the stormwater plan, not only to avoid additional discharge into our water sources, but also in conjunction with how that relates to the neighbors' concerns.
Sure. The addition is going on the rear of the building. The contours are on the plan, so the contours start from Lisa Road is across the street and kind of diagonally across the street, and the contours are such that it's dropping from approximately 260 on the north side of the lot, on the south side of the lot, to 256 on the south side, on the north side of the lot, 256, south side is 260. So the contours are such that the water is draining towards the cemetery, towards the north arrow, as depicted on that plan. There's grass surface on the back. The intent is to include a silt sock along the property line, along the easterly property line, and also to include a Caltech infiltration system for the roof runoff to be recharged into the ground, so there'll be no increase in runoff from the project. There's approximately 360 square feet of roofing that will be collected in a gutter and downspouts directed to a distribution chamber and then into the infiltration chambers. There would be a elevated berm around the project to prevent water that's coming from the Lisa Road area towards the property, would channel it around. That would be the clean water that would be channeled around. The other water that might fall on the site would basically be captured by the silt sock that's going to run the perimeter of the project area. There would be very limited site work with this. The only site work associated with it would generally be the excavation. Site work can be done as quick as possible to prevent any sort of long-term exposure to excess rain events and things of that nature. So most of the work is going to be, the vertical building construction, very limited work. There's going to be some just regrading, as you might notice. The 258 contour is basically expanded to flatten that back area and give us 2 foot of cover over the piping that's running from the downspouts into the distribution chamber. And the details for the distribution chamber and the infiltration system are on the prior page. But this is at a larger scale so that we could explain it in more detail. It was getting very difficult to, at a 40 scale, to provide the amount of detail that was necessary. And basically, I thank Gene for working through the review process with both Gregory and Melissa, so that we came to this meeting with all the questions answered in a way that to the maximum extent possible. To the extent there are other questions, we're here to answer any other questions that you might have.
The construction entrance will be off of Abbott Street over this gravel drive that exists here.
Adrian, where's the wetland?
So across,
the street.
so the delineation was done from Johnson Street across across the street here, this parcel. Lisa Lane was where he was referring to as here, so these hash marks is the wetland. There's also a pond, not shown on this plan, behind this dwelling. It's on Ridgewood Cemetery's property.
Gene, where you have the wetland delineated there, do you have any marking of where the stream is that goes under Johnson Street?
The stream is actually not on that. It's just, if you go back, it's just to the, it's almost at that corner, right about there.
Right.
Just to the right of that.
Okay.
It goes under,
So you said that the water is going to be draining to the north in the direction of the north arrow,
yes,
and we can see the north arrow there.
yes.
Do you anticipate any of the water draining to the north reaching that stream? Because that stream comes down, it's not shown, but
I actually depicted it on an aerial.
Sure.
I didn't have that. I have another one, but I marked it up on here.
sure,
So that, the stream comes out of this water body here.
right,
Flows underneath, this is the corner, and the stream comes underneath.
Yep.
It has to travel quite a distance, it's over 400 feet.
and you don't expect, the only reason I was asking is you said the water's going to drain to the north, it's towards
Yes.
the stream.
Yes.
I agree, it's quite some distance. Do you expect any of that water draining to the north will impact the stream? Will reach the stream?
No, I
Okay.
mean, there's 400 feet of grassed surface
Okay.
to get there.
All right,
But, I mean, that's not, the intent is that the water that is, flowing overland currently, flowing in that direction is gonna go in that direction. The idea is to capture any sort of silt or sediment by, the protections that we put in place. And then, when the project is nearing completion, it would be leveled and hydroseeded such that the grass in that area would prevent any sort of further erosion.
so that kind of raises the reason I'm asking the question. I know it's some distance to the stream, but that stream goes to the lake. And so, for example, fertilizer, where you live would not normally have a big chance of reaching the lake because the lake is a long distance. But the fertilizer, if done incorrectly, can reach the stream. Much like you say, we want to avoid the sediment.
Yes.
The fertilizer's even more susceptible, and if that gets into the stream, it gets into the lake, and cumulatively, that causes a problem with our drinking water supply.
Yeah, I know he was gonna have a,
Yeah, we have a deed restriction on, for exactly that purpose.
Perfect.
On, I think, the top right corner of these
And-
plans called out.
It's terrific that you're aware of that, and I just want to thank you for having that awareness, because it's important cumulatively to the quality of the lake. Thank you.
Absolutely.
we were able to look, both of the land across the street, to the right off of there's currently a project that was just completed, a DEP, that had a DEP file number to it, and the other house directly across the street, they were constructed in about 20 years ago, but there was a similar type of approach taken. So it basically followed the approach taken by the abutting properties, albeit that they are on the other side of the street.
Okay, thank you.
And I do note that we did get a letter from an abutter, and basically said, it hasn't had water issues in the past, and as long as the plan is taking into consideration the water, then she feel comfortable. I will note that we have a peer review from our peer reviewer, Horsley Witten, and that in the peer review, that all their questions have been answered, and it states that that the applicant conducted a soil test and determined the rate of infiltration, which was an appropriate rate to be used, as well as could be planned for the system that they're using, and that the plans for the 100-year storm and the proposed infiltration system should manage the impervious area directed to it as assigned, and that there's a dry well with a 24-inch sump. So it looks to me, and more importantly to our peer reviewers that they've done what's needed to make sure that the water stays where it's supposed to. So, just wanted to note that. Okay, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I had a quick question. So I noticed in the notice of decision, it's in section 11, bullet C. It's requiring an independent environmental monitor, and I was wondering if there's any possible relief on that condition. I think we kind of went over how this is kind of a smaller project. We're pretty far from these wetlands, and the actual watershed ends at 380. So we're kind of on the extreme end of the watershed. Our engineer said, right, there's very limited site work once we've kind of started this. And, we've gone through and included some comprehensive stormwater measures like the silt sock, the berm, and the stockpile locations. So,
One second, so Gene, what is the independent as I understand it, it's generally a standard condition that we put on watershed permits, but what does that involve?
It's to visit the site weekly to ensure, and after significant rain events, to ensure the erosion control is still in good form. So we have a pre-construction meeting once it gets installed to make sure everybody on the site and the project team, the contractor, is aware of this decision and the conditions in it. And then we monitor to make sure the erosion control stays in place. And again, just the overall, they take pictures, they send me weekly what work has occurred on the site, and it's pretty routine. What do you anticipate is the project schedule? How long will it take?
So our contractor is saying anywhere from 6 to 8 months, start to finish.
6 to 8 months.
Right, so it's a significant time frame, and I'm hoping to not have to have that financial burden for that whole time.
So it's typically while the site is not stabilized. So once the lawn is in place and stabilized, which unfortunately is usually the end of the project, anytime that outside work is suspended while they go do the details inside the house or something, sometimes I suspend the monitoring if there's no site work being conducted and the site is stable. But
What do we normally do? Like, is it the same person that does all of them, or how?
no, there's various engineering firms that do it.
Oh, okay.
We have them sign that they're operating on behalf of the town. So sometimes on projects like this, like you remember Thor from Weston Sampson, sometimes he'll monitor his own, but they're signing a form that you guys developed that says they're acting independently and they're working on behalf of the town with their reporting.
I mean, I think it is a fair point that we have to have some sort of de minimis exceptions or softening. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not coming down in any direction, but I think it is fair that I have no idea how much something like this would cost, but if it is prohibitive compared to the size of the thing, I think it's fair to bring the point up. The question is, I just don't know in this context and compared to the other ones and what we've done, so.
Gene, can you show us on the map where the watershed boundary is?
Do you have an estimate of the cost, or have you been over that with the engineer?
Yeah, so the Google searching, right, says it was around like $1,000 a month. So.
Okay. We could, I mean.
I
we
mean,
could
honestly,
Can I just interject for 1 second? Because I think that to the extent that we could do something ahead of time so that we can shorten that duration, whether it's install the infiltration system and then set it up, but then it's still going to be kind of traveling over, the lumber's going to be traveling over that and so forth. So I could commit to doing whatever needs to be done to ensure that maybe we install the system and stabilize the area over the infiltration system, early, and maybe get it hydroseeded before the winter, and depending on how the project schedule works out.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know that we need to get into that detail, that certainly would help these guys. I mean, I'd maybe make it bi-weekly inspections or something like that, I don't know, that could,
Or after significant rainfall, so an inch or more
Yeah.
of rainfall.
What are we looking at?
The yellow highlight is their lot, and the blue hashes is the watershed.
The blue hash is a watershed, so, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, that looks kind of gray to me, but yeah, okay.
so,
It's blue for water.
so,
It is blue.
so here's the situation, is that I'd love to be able to make it so that it's not as expensive for you. The only problem is if it does become a problem, then it becomes a big problem, and it's a problem for everybody, not just you guys. So that's kind of the balancing act. I'd be maybe inclined to make it bi-weekly and after heavy rainfall. And that way, theoretically, that means that the person's not coming out they're coming out every 2 weeks instead of every week, which should hopefully would limit some of the costs. And then I think, like Gene said, if there's a time period where if things are being done quicker, or if there's not going to be anything done for a while, maybe we could suspend it by talking to the planning director, which is in there. Would people be comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think that's a good
Okay,
idea.
so we'll do that.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so we're gonna amend all right. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Can I get a motion to close the public here? No, there's no public comment, correct? We've received one comment that we've addressed online. Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll review the decision, so we're gonna make that amendment in 11C to bi-weekly, meaning every other week, not twice a week.
I always get confused.
No, well, it's the same word. It means both. It's the same word, same spelling. It means both. Stupid English.
Who contracts with this person? I'm asking for the clients. So,
So there's a form that whoever you select to do this is going to fill out, and they're contracting with the town. They're working on behalf of the
they're
town.
working on behalf of the town, but he's
He's paying.
He's
yes.
compensated.
Yes.
Just like the peer reviewer.
So there's some other contract between him and that firm, whoever he's with.
Okay.
Once per fortnight. Very swifty of you, John.
Very Victorian.
Yeah.
40 days.
All right. Performance bond. That's fine. Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments on the decision? Can we get a motion to approve the decision as amended?
Hold on.
Oh, wait, holding. Peter?
I'm sorry, I should have asked you earlier. The section on the fertilizer, is that in here?
It's in here,
Yeah.
even though it's stated on the plan.
Right.
I have it done as a separate standalone document so that it doesn't get lost at the registry.
Where in here is that?
It's page 5, very top of page 5.
H.
Thank you.
It has to be recorded as a deed restriction.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries. So moved and as amended.
Motion made as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, that is approved. Good luck.
Kate, did you vote on that, Kate?
No.
It's a special permit, so she can.
Okay.
I have her on the decision.
Okay. All right. All right. Kate votes aye. Kate votes aye? I do. Okay, fantastic. And next time you're gonna be a super official. Yeah. All right. Okay, that is approved and all set.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, can
job.
we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 15th?
Wasn't here.
Well, then don't make a motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Are you abstaining from the vote?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Three.
approved 3-0.
Where'd you go?
Where was I? I think it was
You didn't make it back, I think you didn't make it back in time.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was
Your
a
plane got
work thing.
delayed.
Yeah.
Okay, anything before, when's our next meeting? Is it next week or the weekend?
26th of August.
26th. Okay, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, wonderful.
That was fast.
Quick and easy.